Hi, it's Wendy from Worldwide Speak, and in this video, I'm going to show the English language learner, that's you, how to write a process paragraph. I'm going to go over the structure of the paragraph and exactly what you need inside of the paragraph for it to be clear and effective. Let's learn. Okay, so what is the purpose of a process paragraph? The purpose is to explain how to do something in a chronological order or in logical steps. For example, it might be explaining how to save money, how to train for a marathon, or even how to bake a cake. There are three really important parts of your paragraph. The first is you need a very clear topic sentence so your reader completely understands what you're talking about. You are going to have steps to complete the process. You're probably going to want to include at least 4 steps so that each part of the process is broken down and clearly explained. And last, you're going to need a conclusion sentence that reminds the reader of your topic sentence and wraps up the paragraph. So a lot of times my students ask, Wendy, what is the structure of this paragraph? What does it look like? What are the pieces I need to make a strong process paragraph? This is what you need. You need a topic sentence that tells the reader what you will be teaching them. You need the steps, and the steps give clear, simple instructions, one at a time. It tells the reader what to do, and then you explain a little bit more. And last, you have the conclusion sentence, and that restates your topic and wraps up the paragraph. Let's talk about this topic sentence. It's really important that your topic sentence is clear and explains exactly what you will be teaching your reader. This is the first sentence of the paragraph. It tells the reader what your topic is and it gives directions. It needs to tell the process that will be explained in the paragraph and make a point. This is how you need to write your topic sentence. Here's an example. If you want to give a successful presentation, make sure you follow these steps. Now, my topic is a successful presentation. Your topic might be different. All you need to do is tell the reader what your topic is, and then you need to tell your reader to follow the steps. Every topic sentence will be similar for the process paragraph. That way, it's very clear to the reader. You could have, for example, if you want to save money, you need to follow these steps. Or if you want to run a marathon, you must follow these steps. So depending on what your topic is, that will change, but the structure of your topic sentence will always be the same. Now, we need to talk about the steps. When you're giving the reader the steps, it's crucial that you use transition words. When we have these steps, we need them in a chronological order or a logical order. And transition words are the words that signal to the reader, oh, I need to follow this, and I can keep it organized in my mind while I read because these words are my signals for order. For the second step, we can use second or next. For the third step, we can use third, next, or then. If you used next for your second step, make sure not to use next for the third step. You don't want to use the same transition word 2 times in a row because that is confusing. And for the fourth step, we can use finally or last. Okay, so we talked about the topic sentence. We talked about the steps and using transition words. Now let's talk about the conclusion sentence. This is the last sentence of your paragraph. It restates or says in different words the topic sentence and wraps up the paragraph. We need to make sure to use a transition word to begin this sentence, such as to sum up, in short, to conclude, or in conclusion. These transition words, remember from the slide before, these transition words are really important because they are signals to the reader. And when you use these specific transition words to sum up, in short, to conclude, or in conclusion, it tells the reader, oh, this is the end. This is going to finish with this sentence. So if you remember the topic sentence from the beginning, it was, if you want to give a successful presentation, make sure you follow these steps. Now, in order to write the conclusion sentence, we need to say the same thing, but we want to change the words that we're using and possibly the order of the sentence. Let me show you how to do that. We begin with a transition word, right? To sum up. And what I did is I just took the last part of the topic sentence and started my conclusion sentence with it. When you follow these specific steps, I added the word specific, and then I wrote, you will have an incredible presentation. And I changed the adjective. I went from successful to incredible, and it has almost exactly the same meaning. It's just a little bit different. So even though we changed the order of the sentence and a couple words, the meaning is the same. Now, we also need to remember there is specific grammar we use in the process paragraph. First, I'm going to talk about imperatives. Imperatives are used to give commands and orders. The form of the verb used for the imperative is the base form of the verb, and it's used without a subject. That's important to remember. You're not going to use a subject. You're just going to start with a verb. For example, here is a sentence using imperatives. Walk to the end of the block, turn left, and cross the street. As you can see, base form of the verb, walk, turn, cross, but there is no subject before the imperative. The second grammar point I'd like to talk about are phrases for advice. Remember, you're explaining a process, so you're telling people what to do. We often use should plus the base form of a verb. For example, you should get a good night's sleep before your presentation. We use had better plus the base form of a verb. For example, you had better practice a lot before your presentation. And last, we use need to plus the base form of the verb. For example, you need to explain your topic very well. When you use these phrases in your paper, it helps the reader realize you're giving them directions. So let's take a look at what this would look like if we were going to write it. Now, my topic is giving a successful presentation. So we already know my topic sentence, right? If you want to give a successful presentation, make sure you follow these steps. Now, for the first step, I'm going to use the transition word first, and I'm going to use an imperative. First, practice a lot. The first part of your step, you're going to have transition word and then an imperative. And then I'm going to add a second sentence that explains it a little bit more. We want more detail because if we just have a paragraph with imperative, 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 one, it's really boring. And two, it's not very clear. We need to expand on each direction or imperative. So in mine, I wrote, you need to go over the presentation many times at home to make sure you have it memorized. So what I have done is I've given the direction and then I've expanded on it in order to paint a picture of it in the mind of the reader. And I used specific and detailed examples to show the reader exactly what I'm talking about. So for the steps, you have the transition word, the imperative, and then you have a sentence or two following that to make it more descriptive and more clear. And last, we have my conclusion sentence. I use a transition word specifically for ending the paragraph. I chose to sum up. And then we just switched the order of the topic sentence and changed a couple of words. So it reads, to sum up, when you follow these specific steps, you will have an incredible presentation. So let's look at the paragraph, how you would write it for school. The paragraph is complete, and I have it here. Why don't we read it together? If you want to give a successful presentation, make sure you follow these steps. First, practice a lot. You had better go over the presentation many times at home to make sure you have it memorized. Second, explain your topic clearly. You should organize your presentation so that it's easy for the listeners to understand. Next, go to bed early the night before the presentation. You need enough sleep in order to feel well rested and relaxed for the big day. Last, get to the presentation early. This will give you enough time to practice the presentation and to make sure that you have everything that you need. Also, if there is a problem, this allows you time to fix it. To sum up, when you follow these specific steps, you will have an incredible presentation. Now let's look at this again, and I have highlighted and underlined the really important pieces that you must have in your process paragraph so that it is clear and effective. So I have highlighted all of the transition words that I used in my example. We have first, second, next, last, and to sum up. You have to have those pieces for your steps and your conclusion sentence. Then I went back and I underlined and I bolded all of the phrases of advice and the imperatives. So, as I said before, you have your transition word for the steps, like first, and Then I underlined the word practice. That's an imperative. And then in the detail sentence, I underline had better go over, and that's giving people advice about what they need to do or they should do, they had better do. Then I used second, explain, should organize, next, go, need to get, last, arrive, and to sum up. These are really crucial to your writing. Make sure that you understand this and use them in your paragraph. To review, your process paragraph needs a clear topic sentence. You must include steps to complete this process. I recommend at least 4 steps. In those steps, you need to use transition words, imperatives, and phrases for advice. And lastly, you have the conclusion sentence, which has a transition and then restates the topic sentence. You can do this. Now you know how to write a clear and effective process paragraph. For more English resources, you can always visit our website at worldwidespeak.com. Like I said, I know you can write a fantastic process paragraph after watching this video and following the steps. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.